Howdy gamers, Old Gamer Guy here. Welcome to another Stellaris Console Edition video where the Haven Commonwealth is hanging on, maintaining a foothold in the galaxy. Actually, it's several footholds because we are spread out quite a bit more than I would like. But we have not been integrated, we have not been made into a vassal, so it could be worse. I decided to send my science ship to check out a potentially habitable planet and ran into some more crystalline entities.
Evading hostile fleet.
I used some technology to do an instant scan of the system. And there they are. There's 4 fleets of crystalline entities hanging around here. But there is also a Gaia world. Not a huge Gaia world, but a Gaia world nonetheless, and my selection of planets is pretty limited right now, so I think I will eventually build up a fleet and clear out these crystalline entities. In the last video, I talked about how I noticed this moon was 85% habitable, but I built a colony ship and it is not allowing me to colonize this moon. I did a search on Google trying to figure out why this might be, but I couldn't find anything. So if anybody has any idea why this might be happening, I would certainly appreciate the info because, as I said, I need places to colonize and my selection is limited. In other news, I noticed that the League of Valshow and the Jackass Pact had teamed up against the Derp Coalition and the hierarchy of Bokbok. These are not federations, they're just, I guess, maybe defensive pacts. But for a while there was a war that went on between these 4 empires. It did not concern me. I'm flying under the radar right now, and that's probably a good thing. But I did notice at one point, this wasn't actually part of the war, I guess, but a 15K derp fleet warped into this system, followed by a 15K bokbok fleet, and they took out a couple of these fleets of crystalline entities, but they did not push farther into Valshow space, which I thought was interesting. I would have done that, but then again, my strategic decision making is clearly suspect, and so what the hell do I know? But once again, I'm happy to be flying under the radar because there's not a damn thing I could do about 2 15K fleets if they wanted to invade. I decided to send my construction ship up and build yet another frontier outpost. So that Gaia world I talked about would be within my space.
Construction complete.
And it appears to have worked. So now I can take my time getting to that Gaia world because nobody else will be able to grab it. And I have a few more resources I can grab. There are a lot of minerals in that one system in particular. I noticed some of the people on Iraglia Prime were unhappy, so I decided to terraform this ocean world into a continental world. It's really not going to affect their happiness very much, but I decided to do it anyway. I think they're actually unhappy because of a faction within my government that wants me to be unfriendly to aliens, but we're so weak right now, I really can't do that. I finished the prosperity tree, which gave me a 33% reduction in terraforming cost, which is cool. But the main thing about this that I want to point out is that finishing the tree gave me access to an ascension perk. So I was curious about whether finishing a tree was better, or if it was better to open up multiple trees, and I can see pluses and minuses for both strategies. But if I had spent all my points in one tree, I could have finished a tree, moved on to another tree, and finished that one, and now I would have 2 ascension perks, and these perks are fairly significant. I'm not going to read them all, but I eventually went with voidborn because it appears that I can build orbital habitats, and like I said, my selection of planets is pretty limited, so I thought that would be a good thing. But these perks are really good, so now I kind of wish I had just focused on one tree and then focused on another tree, because then I would have 2 of these perks, and apparently you can have 8. I had a planet that was being terraformed, and it was finally finished with that process. So I built a colony ship. You can see I was starting to build some military ships to go take on those crystalline entities, but I decided to prioritize the colony ship.
Construction complete.
And when the colony ship was done, I tried once more to colonize that moon, but I'm still not allowed to do it. I wish I knew why. But I can send it to colonize Canam 2, or perhaps Canam 2. I don't really know what the official pronunciation is yet. I need to figure that out, I guess. But it looks like a nice planet. Here is the voidborn effect. I can build mega structures. I can build a habitat, but it costs 5,000 minerals to do so. Meanwhile, back on my brand new planet, there is a magnetic disruption, so the people are less happy and scientific output is lowered for 60 months. But there is no scientific output here just yet, so I'm not too worried about it, and it is a temporary effect, so eventually it will go away. But I think I'm going to leave off here for now. We are flying under the radar, which is probably a good thing, because we would get squashed easily, I think, by any of these empires. We are expanding a little bit, and we are preparing to expand further, but for now, thanks for watching.